The Punjab Kings have yet again found a way to lose a winning game. Will that again take them to the selection table, bring in some changes after one game into the restart? It's certainly do or die sort of time. And Don Maruti Suzuki presents ESPN Cricinfo T20 Timeout. We shall ask Carlos Brathwaite why Chris Gayle, who he knows quite well, didn't play on what would have been his birthday in the last one. Can he slot straight back in? Sanjay Manjrekar shall weigh in as well, whether Aiden Markram should make way for that spot. Let's go to you first up, Carlos. No Chris Gayle after he has had an impact even at number 3. Does he walk into this team for you?
Firstly, you have to give the universe boss the birthday off. So no cricket on the birthday, just cake smashing and enjoying it. I think he does, as long as Gale is fit. I know he can't play every single game, but as long as Gale is fit, I think he walks into the team. Being left-handed and breaking up 1, 2, 3, potentially with skipper KL Rahul, Mayank Agarwal, and Aiden Markram. He also adds a bit of tempo. Mayank and KL obviously can get the ball away, but they're fairly slow starters. What Gale can do is increase the tempo coming out of the power play, and then he takes the spin options from the opposition out of the equation as well. So Gale walks back into the team anytime he's fit. Obviously, if they're back-to-back games, he'll have to choose which games he plays, but definitely against a team with a heavy spin lineup, Chris walks back into the team and hopefully gets a big score, add some tempo to the innings.
How much does the result itself tempt Punjab to go back to this decision? What if they would have won that game, which they should have, Sanjay? But would the nature of the result push their hand a bit further?
They shouldn't do that. It would be a silly thing to do just based on result. Look to do something different, as Dale Steyn famously quoted. On our show saying that the better team lost. So really, they shouldn't be looking at the result of the last game to address any issue. I think their team is looking fine. I'd love the inclusion of Markram. And for Markram to go out, I mean, he was 32, Aiden Markram, 26 of 20 and not out. And he watched most of what happened from the other end in that last over. So it would be really unfair to leave him out. If the match is in Sharjah, you're tempted to play Chris Gayle for that reason. The match is in Sharjah. So maybe you could look at somebody like an Adil Rashid making way for a foreign player to come in, and Adil Rashid is replaceable with somebody like a Bishnoi and M. Ashwin. So if they want Gayle to play on a small ground in Sharjah, that's the thing they could do. Leave Rashid out, get Gayle in. The other thing is that Gayle has to bat in the top 3. And you can't bat Markram down at number 4 or 5. So maybe, KL Rahul could do a very graceful thing. He has batted down the order for India in T20. Then he could offer Gayle, just for this game, the position at the top and, give him the platform to just change the game right there. So, which is unlikely to happen. I don't think Rahul will give up that position. So it's going to be a little difficult to fit both Markram and Gayle in, but it'd be terribly unfair as Markram is left out after that one game.
I find that to be a very interesting suggestion. It's out of the box and it's unlikely to happen, as Sanjay said, Carlos. But it's not the worst thing. KL Rahul, experienced player, has batted at 5 in ODI cricket. And you have an able opening bat. Chris Gale's got all his runs at the top of the order. Sometimes you feel like Agarwal, Rahul and Gale together somewhat upsets the balance of that team. Would you be tempted to go that way? If you get Gale and Agarwal in, maybe Rahul can bat a bit lower, as unlikely as it seems?
It's interesting. And then you ask yourself as a franchise, if you're making too many changes, how much consistency do you want, or how flexible do you want to be? In T20, you have to be flexible. So if it is a set play, and we talk about matchups with bowlers to batsmen, matchups can also be building your team to fit the other team you're playing against or the ground. And as Sanjay mentioned, it'd be very interesting. One thing that they've lacked as well, Puran has not been in the best of form. He's come off the CPL with a few runs behind his name, which would make the Punjab fans happy. We know what Deepak Huda can do as well. So if you have those two with KL Rahul, the skipper, ushering them along, finishing the game, you're hoping that your finish will be a lot better than the first game. However, will that be a long-term plan, or will that be a set play for this game at a small boundary? It's something to definitely take into consideration, but I think it will be how the franchise decides they want to go about things, whether we want to be consistent or whether they want to be flexible and have set matchups and set plays.
Hmm. Does the universe boss also get to decide which grounds he plays as a result of his birthday? Maybe I'll play the smaller ones. Not like he can't clear the big ones. But Carlos, you guys love the slightly smaller boundaries, don't you?
Mhm.
Yeah, the fans love it as well. We love to see 55, 60 meters. And knowing that you just time it, hold your pose, and it goes a mile. But yeah, I think Sharjah's been a funny one because Sharjah's boundaries are very small, and you often see how you score in games. But then there's also the pitch, and if the Charger pitch isn't true, or it has lower bunks or spins massively, you then also see the 110s and 120s, and the other team struggling to chase it, or the team successfully defending. So it can be interesting. The beauty of having someone like Chris Gayle in your team is that he takes the wicket out of the equation majority of the time. The fear he puts onto the opposition bowlers, and the cleanliness in which he strikes the ball, um, unless it's a real bad delivery or misbehaves really badly off the wicket, he takes the wicket out of the equation. So hoping for a good flat track, 190 plays 191, and Chris Gayle to get a birthday 85 or 90.
Yeah, Mr. Manjrekar has played on that Sharjah track a long time back, but he knows it's still pretty flat.
Yes, player of the series in a one-day tournament. So, Sharjah, there's a roundabout just outside the ground, and it gives a sign towards a graveyard, a cemetery there.
Hmm.
And I've always felt that it should be sort of point towards the that has often proved to be a bowler's graveyard.
I like how when I said it's so flat, Sanjay Manjrekar said with that even I've been player of this tournament there. No, that's what he tried to say. No, that's not it. He's very good. Sanjay's played some top bowlers, and let's see if Chris Gayle gets his chance against the Hyderabad Sunrisers.
We call it people technology.